Hey everybody, it's Mike. I'm an addict. Another episode of Recovery in the Raw. Still don't know if I like that title yet, but whatever. It is what it is. I haven't been on the computer lately. Some events happened that weren't expected, but I'm here. One thing that's been a challenge for me this week is this little guy. Just a nicotine patch. It's official. I'm trying to quit. I'm going to quit, I should say. It's been 3 days. I smoked cigarettes for 10 years. And this is the last hunch. This is the last hurdle for me. Smoking cigarettes. Very hard. Anyway, just here for some more tips and tricks for getting sober, staying sober, things that have worked for me. Number 1, delete your dealer's numbers. I see a lot of people on Reddit, not just Reddit, but other message boards as well. My dealer keeps calling me. My dealer says he's going to give me some stuff for free. What's the point of not going? The question I have for them is, why do you have your dealer's number in your cell phone? You relapsed before you ever picked up. That's something they say in the program, too. You relapsed a long time before you copped. And that's true. I think the reason a lot of us keep numbers in our cell phones is because in the back of our mind, we're not going to quit. It's not possible. I have something in my ear that's bugging me. But keeping your dealer's number in your phone is a bad idea. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't keep it in there. Keeping the number in there is just setting you up for failure. You need to get rid of your dealer's number. Let's say you do get rid of your dealer's number. He calls you back on a different number. It happens a lot. You need to get a new phone. You need to get a new phone. You need to get a new number. I say you need to get a new phone because the phone can be a trigger in itself. I remember the first time I got a rehab, just holding my old phone was a trigger. I remember all the deals I used to dial on there, all the text messages. Getting a new phone helped tremendously. I don't know why. Maybe it's just photographic memory, whatever you want to call it, but you need to get a new number as well, or else these people are just going to keep calling you and calling you and calling you and calling you and calling you. Yeah, some might give up, but at the end of the day, these people don't give a shit about you. They give a shit about the money you bring them. And when you stop picking up the phone, that's just going to give them another reason to call back. Number 2, you need to get a job. I know that sucks for people in a current addiction, so this advice is kind of for people, who have been sober for a little bit. They got some 24s underneath their belt. You need to get a job. You can't stay at home. That's just a recipe for relapse. You need to get out of your head. Again, one of the ways to do that is to get a job. You need to stay busy. If it helps in the between time of you getting a job, if it helps, make a schedule. Again, when I first got out of rehab, even when I was in rehab, they made us do these schedules where for each hour of the day, you're writing down what you need to do. 1 to 2 p.m., walking the dog. 2 p.m. to 3 p.m., 3 p.m. to 4 p.m., etc. I didn't do it that detailed. I didn't go hour to hour. I definitely wrote down what I needed to do, though. It was more of a checklist than a schedule. But whatever works for you, you need to... sometimes writing down and having a physical copy of a schedule in front of you helps tremendously, instead of just remembering, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. It's just gonna stress you out more. You need to make a schedule for yourself. Number 3, there's this what I call the friend test, and it's what I did when I was first getting sober. Delete your Facebook if you have one. Delete your Facebook, and again, change your number on your cell phone, and see how many of those friends you have reach out to you. I can almost guarantee you that number will be under 5. Who knows, maybe you're a popular person who does drugs and you'll have 1,000,000 people ask you if you're okay, but I would say 9 times out of 10, everybody I've told to do this friend test, they come back to me. Only one person called back. Only 2 people stopped by to see if I was alive, if I was okay. You need to realize who your friends are. Delete your Facebook. It's only going to get you drama. It's only going to get you stressed out. Another tip, buy a plant. Sounds stupid, but buy something that's easy to grow. A fern, a piece of bamboo. Doesn't have to be crazy, but buy a plant and take care of that plant. Water the plant, clean out the plant, uproot it, clean off the roots, whatever you have to do to make it stay alive. This is going to teach you to care for something other than yourself. Addiction is a very selfish disease. It's all about me. It's all about what I want. It's all about what I feel. We need to train ourselves to not think like that. One of the ways we can do that is taking care of something else. We need to start off small. A lot of people say, get a dog. Straight away they say, get a dog. Well, that's not really a good idea because a lot of addicts relapse. 90% of addicts relapse. Or I think it's 95% now. Either way, there's a 5% chance that you'll get better. The odds are against you. You need to take care of something. Take care of a plant. If that plant lives for longer than 6 months, some people say a year, I think that's too long. So I'm just going to say if that plant lives for 6 months, buy a goldfish. Something minuscule, maybe a snail that you see at those pet stores, those hermit crabs. Buy a goldfish, an environment that now instead of just the plant you have to take care of, it's the plant and the goldfish. This is kind of going to help you, again, take care of something else other than yourself. And after 6 months, if that goldfish is still alive, I'd recommend getting a cat or a dog, because obviously you've proven yourself to the point where you're not fucking up all the time. Another tip is throw out all of your clothes that you used to use in. For me, my drug of choice was heroin, so I had a lot of burn holes. I had a lot of burn holes in my clothes, just from nodding out. I had stains on my bed, all sorts of shit, and just wearing the old clothes I used to wear would make me feel like I wanted to use. Get rid of your old clothes. Buy an entire new wardrobe. You need to create yourself anew. If you're still dressing in the same clothes, if you're still wearing the same shit, if you're going to be doing the same shit. Change your wardrobe. Another thing I noticed that a lot of people, I don't want to say complain about, but mention, is the fact that the drugs don't work anymore. And they're not doing anything anymore. And that's a really shitty feeling, because maybe for the first time in a long time, your one crutch, your one go-to that would make you forget or make you feel better about living, whatever, is gone. The fact that your drug of choice isn't working anymore, though, is bittersweet. It's the beginning of the end. That's what all drugs. That's what happens with all drugs. After a while, it's just as boring as smoking marijuana, or smoking a blunt. With repetition, everything becomes useless as far as drugs go. Tolerance is going through the roof. You need more just to not get sick. And what I mean by beginning of the end is that's you're almost at step 1. You're at like step 0 right now, because what makes you admit that you have a problem is the fact that these drugs don't work anymore. And the reason these drugs don't work anymore is because you have a problem. We live in an age of political correctness, and name calling is unacceptable. Offensive things are unacceptable, but one of the steps is admitting that you are an addict or an alcoholic. A lot of people think that that's disrespectful. A lot of people have a problem in the beginning with calling themselves an addict, but it's empowering at the same time because you're admitting to it. You're not running away from it anymore. You're starting to finally digest the truth, which is you need help. I see a lot of people trying to beat addictions themselves, and I'm just here to tell you that it's not going to work. It really isn't. You're not some type of superhero addict where you're going to be the first person to never touch dope again and you did it all on yourself. I've been in recovery for 7 years total. I have yet to meet one person who's beat dope by themselves, who's beat meth by themselves, who's beat crack by themselves. You need to go to rehab. If you can't afford rehab, you need to at least go to the detox. There's no excuse. A detox, I think you'll be there maybe 2 or 3 days tops. Might cost you, I think, $1,500 tops. And to a lot of people, $1,500 is a lot of money. To me, $1,500 is a lot of fucking money. But are you really not going to go because you feel like your life isn't worth $1,500? You have to think like that too. How much are you worth? How much is your life worth? Those are just a few more tips that I have for you guys and gals. Nothing big. I didn't want to make this episode as long as my last one. I didn't realize it was going to be fucking 22 minutes long. It's crazy. It took me like 2 hours to upload that shit. I want to make more of these episodes more concise and more short. Next episode is probably going to be about rehab and about detox and about Suboxone, which is a controversial medicine for heroin addiction. It's kind of replacing the, what's it called, methadone treatment that was very popular in the past. Now we have Suboxone. Methadone is getting phased out, thank God. A lot of addicts will tell you that the withdrawal from methadone is worse than heroin. At the same time, I could tell you that the withdrawal from Suboxone is worse than heroin. And that's one of the reasons I don't really recommend it. But a lot of people say it was a miracle drug for them. So I'll talk about that a little bit too. I'll leave you guys with a quote from Eckhart Tolle, another man you should check out. Thoughts are clouds. Be the sky. Peace.